Greetings and salutations everyone, Crimson Nero here, and welcome back to Let's Play Sonic Heroes. In the last episode, we went through the canyon levels and managed to beat the Egg Albatross. In this episode, we're going to start off the second half of the game, or at least the second half of Team Sonic's story, with Frog Forest. I have to say, I like Frog Forest. I like the forest levels a lot when it comes to where they are in the positioning of the narrative. I mean, it doesn't say anything like, oh hey, let's go to the forest. But it is, in terms of like level progression, I definitely do like having this stage after Rail Canyon and Bullet Station, just because like I feel like with so much emphasis on like rail grinding and stuff in the last stage, I feel like having some rail grinding in this, but then also having like larger platforms to actually get a footing on is actually pretty nice. So it deals with some of the issues I was talking about last time. Anyways, I'm going to try really hard not to make this, the rest of the LP just a gigantic review. Like I said before, that the game itself is polarizing, and I want to highlight some of the ways why people consider this to be one of the... I consider it to be kind of where the downfall starts of Sonic, at least during the early 2000s era. But anyways, so, yeah, in other news, it's summertime. It's a good time to start chipping away at your game collection. I know I'm doing that. Some really good releases are coming out. Some different sales have been going on, such as the Steam Summer Sale. I didn't get anything during the Steam Summer Sale, just because that I don't have a really good computer to run most games, so I'm primarily a console and handheld person, at least of right now. But soon enough, I will return to my PC, gaming brethren. I didn't actually start gaming with PCs, but PC gaming was actually a really big part of my life, especially during my childhood. Mainly because I had a lot of video games for the PC that were kind of like edutainment games. So like things like can't remember any specifics, but I had other games like Lego Racing, Lego Kart Racing, and oh man, that was a ton of fun. Like I put so many hours into that game as a child. There was also Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, just because the movie had just come out, or was about to come out, and the books were really gaining popularity at the time, and I was into it. I kind of fell off the Harry Potter bandwagon over the years, but like I still enjoy them, and from time to time I look at my collection of books that I have, and I just think to myself, you know what? I should go back to read these, and I really want to. I should really start doing that. But another thing that has happened recently is the release of Pokemon Go, which I have been super excited about. I think I just reached level 9 yesterday, and my collection is going fairly well, actually. I'm really surprised at how good the game actually is. Like I'm pretty happy with the results of the development. So good on you, Nintendo. You did good, even though I think it was Niantic, I think? Yeah, Niantic. Those were the actual developers, but like Nintendo and Game Freak had a large say in the development. Anyways, so yeah, Pokemon Go is really fun. It's actually been entertaining me quite a bit. I've also been playing Zero Time Dilemma, as I've mentioned several times throughout this LP, in terms of bringing up the name casually in conversation. I'm also playing in a few other games, such as Fire Emblem Fates, Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones, Lost Odyssey, Persona 3. I have a lot of games that I'm trying to kind of chip away at gradually. Like, I really should be focusing on like 1 or 2 games, and really focusing on those and completing that, but I don't know, there are just times where my interest just gets completely grabbed by something else. So I'll be playing through multiple hours of Persona 3, and next thing you know, I'll take a look at my collection and be like, you know what, I really want to play Lost Odyssey right now, and so I will. And that's just the thing, is that most of us gamers, we totally understand what it's like to be in this situation. For me, it's the fact that I need to analyze games as I'm playing them, which adds even more time to my gaming schedule. And then there's just the fact of, oh hey, it's like it's a summer sale, or I just have a lot of games because I really like a lot of games. Just as gamers, we all have that experience with having a lot of games and not having enough time to play all of them. Some people say, you know what, I've played X amount of time in this game, I'm done. I've seen what I need to see. I'm not one of those people. I need to go from beginning to end in everything. I can't just sit there and not have a game be beaten. And so even if I like start up a game and get like 10 hours into it, if I don't remember what the heck is going on in the game, I will actually go back whenever I do and restart the game from the beginning, or if I do remember what's going on, I'll at least continue from where I left off, and I'll work towards completing those games. Just even though that my normal tendencies seem to be, all right, work on something and then start something else even if I didn't finish it, I don't want that to always be a thing. I left so many things throughout my life unfinished, and games are one thing that I want to actually beat or like complete. I mean, I haven't left a ton of things incomplete when it comes to my life in general, but just there are those moments where I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna do this thing, and then I don't actually finish it, and it takes, or at least I get distracted and it takes several weeks to finish, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, the mechanic of Frog Forest and Lost Jungle are the two types of frogs. There are the green ones and the black ones. The green ones make it so that it rains and things grow. The black ones make it so that things decay when it starts raining. So, obviously the black frogs only are introduced and only found in Lost Jungle, which is a nice way of kind of like building onto the mechanic. It's a good idea. It's like, hey, we had a frog in the last episode that made things grow. Why don't we include the opposite? Got it. Take this. As well as it does kind of increase the difficulty a little bit, because as you'll see a little bit later on, there are going to be some platforms that actually kind of decay around us because of the acidic rain. So, and that's one thing that I think that that Sonic Heroes does fairly well, is that whenever you're in the second act of each zone, things get more difficult. I get it, but they expand upon the mechanics that were originally in the first act. And they just they use it in either the same way, but with different puzzles or elements added to it, or they just completely add to the mechanic just right off the bat, which I think is done effectively, and I really appreciate that. It harkens back to the days of the classic Sonic games, where Act 2 was typically more difficult. Or at least it was, yeah, it typically was a little bit more difficult, but that's because hey, you don't want a game to ever be the exact same difficulty all the way throughout. You don't want a game to start out easy and then immediately just stay easy. You want it to progressively get a little bit more difficult, but not too difficult, because there are times where games do have that really big difficulty spike towards the end. I mean, I can't think of any like good examples right off the top of my head, but it's definitely there. Now this right here, that frog there is kind of a jerk move, because like you're trying to get your footing on this really small platform, but the frog is taking up that platform, and you don't want to fall off into the swamp and just So this right here, this is a little flower propeller thing. Basically, just use the speed character's tornado move, and you start going on an automated sequence. This is not actually the last time we will see that mechanic being used. I like the fact that mechanics are brought back in some of the later levels, and technically, this actually does begin the second half of the game. Actually, we've gone through technically 4 different zones, So that means 8 acts. And there are 14 acts in general when it comes to the game. So technically we're a little bit beyond halfway. Yeah, Sonic Heroes isn't really all that long of a game, and it doesn't really need to be. I know that some game time does get elongated when you're either trying to get like all A ranks, or you're trying to collect the Chaos Emeralds, or just trying to beat every single story mode with each of the 4 teams.
I'll take care of them. Got it.
Oh, and I completely also forgot to talk about these guys. So these big guys, I briefly mentioned them earlier on in the LP, but now they actually show up. And so these big guys, it's a really good idea to paralyze them with the Thunder Shoot from the flight character, and then go into power formation and start just wrecking their faces. It's just a good idea because, well, hey, if they're paralyzed and they can't hurt you, at least for a brief second, and then if you have the power character just wailing on them, then you'll be able to do a lot of damage all at once. Another thing about them is that whenever they're defeated, those big guys will actually automatically drop a level up core, and it's random every time. So you could end up playing through this any level that has them multiple times, but each time that you encounter them, it'll be a different core each time. So yeah, but it is definitely nice. It gives you a nice little reward for all your hard work at trying to defeat these big imposing enemies. Oh, and these vines, these are the ones that I was talking about in the last episode, that if you go too fast, you might actually have a chance of falling off of them because they grow in front of you. It's more of an automated sequence, but still, just be mindful because it is possible to actually go too fast and fall off.
Got it.
Leave it to me.
I guess I might as well go flip this switch over here. I have no idea what it's going to do, but... Oh, hey, look, Lightspeed Dash. Let's do it.
Let Sonic take care of this.
Well, we could have either platformed up the vine there, or just taken the Lightspeed Dash. Though, I think if we took the platforms, we might have actually caught the attention of the Black Frog and made the acidic rain fall, thus preventing us from using that way. So, yeah, just using the Lightspeed Dash would probably be the more beneficial idea in the long run. Alright, so we're getting pretty close to the end of the stage here. Uh-oh, they're trying to take us down into the swamp with them. Well, we can just get away easy. Oh my gosh, that is a gigantic alligator! Or crocodile. Wait, is it crocodile or alligator? I don't know. But anyways, you want to swing on these vines at the peak of their jump in order to avoid getting hit by the gigantic creature. I don't want to say one or the other because I know I'll be wrong regardless of which one I choose. I know one is more akin to wet weather and one is more akin to dry weather. It's kind of like the difference between frogs and toads. But I just can't remember which one is which in this situation. Well, I mean, I know the difference between frogs and toads, but just I don't know the ones between alligators and crocodiles, so I don't want to say anything just so I'm not wrong. But yeah, playing through that part of the stage always freaked me out as a kid, and I had a lot of difficulties with it, but it seemed to go off pretty darn well this time. It went off without a hitch. The level took just a little bit more than 7 minutes to do, but hey, we got an A rank! That's A-okay in my book. Oh, and I also managed to keep the key. So, this is one of the special stages, as you can clearly see. And the thing about the special stages is that it kind of works like they did in Sonic 2, but it's done a little bit differently. So, basically, you're in this gigantic tube, and you can run anywhere from the floor to the sides, all the way up to the ceiling even. And you want to collect these rainbow-colored spheres in order to gain boost power. You'll be, you can either hold down the B button to boost, or you can just spam the B button. I suggest using just spamming the B button, because I think it just generally works a little bit better. There's some orbs that give a little bit more, those orbs right there, those kind of like star ones, those ones give a lot more boost power, so try to collect those as much as possible. But remember to remember to stay away from the spike balls because those will slow you down and also take away a lot of your boost power. But yeah, the special stages, I feel like they could have been done better. Like the biggest thing I have against them is that it is way too easy to just run onto the ceiling and lose all of your momentum. Seriously, all of it. Like, all of it completely. I think it would have been better if they actually just kept it as a half pipe like they did in Sonic 2. And they even did things like this again in like Sonic Rush. And I felt like that game did it very effectively as well. So yeah, I would have preferred just doing a half pipe instead of the full 360-degree circle. But yeah, that is the 5th Chaos Emerald. There's one in the second act of each zone. So because we went through Frog Forest and Lost Jungle, we got the 5th Chaos Emerald.
Look, it's that hedgehog.
Wonder what the big rush
Hey,
is
wait,
about.
wait,
Bet you those guys will
okay,
get
Shadow's back. Well, I mean, hey, if you're beloved by fans, then sometimes the creators will just bring them back.
Come all this way for nothing. We'll take it from here.
What'd you say?
Sensors locked on Eggman. Non-compliant intruders will be destroyed.
Didn't you know? We have a date with Eggman, too.
Is that so? Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Hey, that's my line.
Sonic, when has that ever been your line? Anyways, so now we're going to be fighting Team Dark. Same strategies apply as with Team Rose. Just spam Blue Tornado or use their flight character. I'm just going to spam Blue Tornado in this case, but whoa, these guys are aggressive. Wow, Omega's just kind of stuck there. Oh, alright. Well, I thought I would have to deal with Shadow, but apparently I don't have to worry. And that's going to end things off for this episode of Let's Play Sonic Heroes. In the next episode, we're going to be taking on the Halloween stages. I'm Crimson Nero, thank you very much for watching this episode, and until next time, everyone, fare thee well.